Well, hi everybody, Mopsy here. Having had so many people asking and having problems with their thread paths and problems with looping and all other types of issues, rather than keep telling everybody, I thought it would be easy just to make a quick video on how I clean my thread path for what it's worth. Here we go. I apologise, I don't have a smart camera or anything, so I'm just going to have to go this as we go along. For all the new people, the little plastic cover here has got a hole in it. You can use a pin. I tend to use a little dental pick thing that I have to take that cover off, and you'll see an ordinary crosshead or Phillips screwdriver behind that. So very gently, I'm trying to do this cack-handed, so I'm not covering anything on the camera, but I probably am. But anyway, my screwdriver is magnetic, a little bit magnetised, so I only use it for the cover screws. I don't use it anywhere else, but it is handy. Anyway, on the back of the machine here there is also another screw, and this one you don't take out, you just loosen it enough to allow the cover to come off and keep the screw and the cover and everything safe. And here you'll see it will give you, it will give you access to the whole of the thread path. Okay, the thread enters the machine at the top here, and the first thing that most people, it appears, are not aware of, is that there is an actual tension bar up here at the top. And if I raise and lower the presser foot, you can see that that plate going up and down. And because I know it isn't very easy to see, let me see if I can zoom in a bit more on that. I don't know if it will stay in focus. I'm going to put just a piece of card behind it to make it a little bit more obvious, hopefully, for you to see. So I'm going to raise and lower the presser foot, and I don't know if you can actually see that plate going up and down. If not, do it yourself. Next time you take the cover off, look at the back there and you'll see that plate going up and down. This is where thread enters the machine, and this is very often where you get those irritating little bits of thread that cause you problems. And so the first part you need to clean is that back part, that back plate. So most of you, I assume, have some form of a little brush that you can get in there to make sure it's clean, and you can actually come in from the back and from the sides on that, or you can get a piece of fabric or something to swipe in there and clean it from behind. There's all sorts of ways. If you obviously see anything in there, do whatever you need to do to remove it. If you push down on that cover a little bit, it'll give you a little bit more access. But if I just grab a spool of thread, which I probably have handy, here we go. With your presser foot up when you're normally threading, when you bring your thread round the back of the machine and you floss forwards and backwards, that is to seat it, I don't know if I hold both sides of this, seat it into that top thread there, that top guide and plate there. And if I lower that plate, you probably can't see this, but that plate is actually gripping the thread, and it obviously will trap all sorts of little tiny bits of cut thread and things that are up there. And at this point, this is the other reason why we say never pull your thread out when you're changing threads. Never cut it at the needle and pull it out of the back of the machine, because things get caught under that little top plate there. And that's the first issue. Then the path comes, where's my little pointer again? So it leaves there, comes around this post, over this section here, and then into the tension discs. Now let me see if I can bring this round a little bit, and let me come into a bit more focus. This is awkward trying to do this, and so you can still see what's going on here. And if I zoom in, trouble is my camera goes out of focus, so I have to, okay, so it comes around that post, over the top here, and then into the tension discs. And again, if I raise and lower the presser foot, you can see those discs, or you should see them, opening and closing. Again, do it on your machine, take a look while you raise and lower the presser foot. And again, this is where you have to clean out inside these discs here. With the presser foot up, it makes it a little bit easier, obviously, because you can get your brush, thread, whatever, in there to clean it. Some people use the unwaxed dental floss. Don't use anything waxed. The idea is this grips your thread. Any oil or grease in this path here, in the discs or in that top plate, any grease or oil will not grip your thread. Now on my machine, what I do very gently is with the plastic part of one of these or anything you've got handy, I actually, if I need to have a good look, I get a decent flashlight up there and I actually open the discs. They're on a spring. I don't know if you can see that. This one is fixed, the one on the right is fixed, but the one on the left is on a spring and it moves in and out. And so I'll take this and have a good look. I'll stand above it and look down. I'll come underneath it, open it up gently and have a look on the underside, because that's where loads of problems are, and it can be the tiniest piece of thread that can cause you problem. The important thing is here is this take-up lever on the spring there. I hope this is in focus, but this can break and get damaged very, very easily. So whatever you do, when you're cleaning it out with whatever you're using, just be very careful that you don't catch or pull that little take-up wire there. Now, I'm going to turn the flashlight off, and other things that I do to clean the discs, if I know there's something in there and I just can't reach it, is I'll get myself a little piece of like no-show poly, which I've got, oh, here we go, no-show poly, and you can see it's got the shiny sort of tacky side. That's what will fuse to your fabric and plain on the back. I fold it in half so the shiny side is out, and it's not sticky at all, but there is a tiny little bit of, maybe it's the roughness or not, I don't know. But then, okay, and I'm doing this back to front, I'm right-handed, so I'm back to front. I will use that and like floss it gently through the discs, being very careful of that wire, not taking any pressure there. And I can't tell you the amount of times I've had a piece of thread come out that's stuck to that. Other things that I will do, let's say the presser foot's open at the moment, I'll put it in place, then I'll lower the presser foot, which is close to the disc, and then I'll just draw it with the discs closed, and again, that can sometimes bring little pieces out. Now, sorry, the rest of the path is, if I zoom out a little bit, there's nothing else getting in the way of anything in the path here. It's clear that the thread goes through here when you thread, down across this plate at an angle, and then into the little threader guide here, that little piggy tail, before it goes into the needle, which I don't have in at the moment, obviously for safety's sake. The other problem and the other thing that can happen is while you've got this cover off, let me go to the flashlight again, little pieces of thread can actually go inside this machine and catch on these little cogs and things here, and the gears up inside the machine down here. All these, if I turn the thing around, all these move and turn inside, and any little bit of thread can get wrapped and caught in any of these little spindles, cogs and things. So have a good look inside there, that you don't have any little pieces of thread wrapped around, which will affect the stitching. And lastly, while I'm on the top here, as far as oiling, this is one of the oil areas. If I turn the needle up, you can see on the needle bar there is that, I've lost me straw bit, here we go. You see here there's a little piece of foam between these two holes here, and that is, strictly speaking, where you need to oil. That little, it's like a little felt pad that goes around the needle bar, and by oiling that, as the needle bar goes up and down, it's actually allowing oil to come down so the needle bar stays lubricated on there. And what I do is I'll oil that little pad, but I will also sometimes just put a tiny little drip above or below the needle bar here, lower the needle bar down and put some on here, and then wipe it off after. It's not oil that I want to stay there, it's just to stop and help prevent any friction or static build-up on there. So there you go. I don't know if that's helped anybody. Remember, always thread with your presser foot in the up position, so this discs here and the plate at the back are open, and then when your thread comes through, I've done this before on another video. So your thread comes through the back, under that plate at the back, down here, and as you come down, it goes into the path, and floss it gently forwards and backwards there, so you can see that it's well seated in the discs. And then when you lower the presser foot, it traps and clamps the thread like it should. And then you come here. Oops. And then if you pull back gently, you should feel the resistance on the thread where it's under that plate and where it's coming through the discs there. So anyway, I hope that's helped everybody. I'll catch you guys later. Bye y'all.